Hey class, welcome back to chapter 4, Integers and the Cartesian Plane. Today we are looking at exercise 4D, simplifying addition and subtraction of integers. In our previous two lessons, we've looked at adding and then subtracting integers respectively. Okay, and we've used a number line to do this. Ideally, moving forward, we're going to get rid of the number line, and there is a shortcut to help you remember which way to go. Okay. So you might remember from our previous two exercises, the rules are on the screen, but when we added a positive number, okay, we went in this direction, okay? So adding a positive number, we went this way. And when we added a negative number, we went this way, okay? When we subtracted a positive number in exercise 4C, we went this way. And when we subtracted a negative number, the two negatives cancelled out to make basically a positive. So we moved in the positive direction. Okay. What you may see on the screen is that these two signs and these two signs are the same, and that these two signs are different, and so are these two signs. They're just flipped. And that's the trick. So if there are two of the same sign, then we add. And if there are two of a different sign, then we subtract. We'll give it a go for ourselves. So we'll try by simplifying it. We'll use the number line to check. We're going to begin with part A, positive 3 subtract negative 6. So the trick here is to simplify the problem, and we need to look at these to do this. So we've got just 3 at the front. We don't actually need the positive. 3 and positive 3 mean exactly the same thing, okay? I like to get rid of the sign if it's not a negative. I also aim to get rid of the brackets as we go along, so I will continue to do that the whole way through. So we've got two different signs, negative and a positive. Well, two different signs, that makes a negative, okay? They can't cancel each other out to make a positive, so we get 3 take 6. We start at the number 3 and we go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to give us an answer of negative 3. Okay, and you'll see that when we subtracted a positive number, which is this one here, we do in fact move in that direction, which is what we've done. We'll try another. Part B, negative 5 take positive 3. So again, we've got subtract a positive. Two different signs makes a minus, and we start with a negative 5 at the front, so when we rewrite it without the brackets, we will keep the negative in front of the 5. But instead of writing minus positive, we're going to just write minus or subtract. And the number is 3. So we're going to start at negative 5 and we're going to subtract 3 to give us negative 8. And again, if we look back at our rules, we subtracted a positive number, okay, and we do move in this direction, subtracting a positive number. So they're both the same version of the example. We shall try again with a new one. Negative 2 take negative 2. So again, we're going to simplify. That is a very hard green to read. Let's pick a different one. Oops. Okay. So we're going to start by simplifying. We have negative 2. This time we have 2 negatives. So 2 negatives cancel out to make a positive, okay? So when we subtract a negative, we go this way, but when we subtract a negative, it cancels that subtraction out to make a positive. Negative 2, starting here, plus 2, so going in this direction, gives us 0. Or if we rewrite that as positive 2 minus 2, or 2 take 2, you'll get 0 anyway, okay? Last example, negative 8. Stays a negative 8, so keep the negative if the first number is negative. Again, we've got 2 negatives. They're going to cancel out to make a plus. So we get negative 8 plus 13. Should be putting those pluses on top. Okay, so we start at negative 8 and we add 13. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to get an answer of 5. If we rewrote this one here to check as positive 13 minus 8, we would see quite easily that gives us 5 as well, okay, because 13 take 8 is 5. Please, my takeaway notes for you today are please think of the negatives as belonging to that number. So if we're subtracting a positive, in reality, this 6 here has a negative value, okay, because we're taking it away. This 3, despite the fact that it was positive up here, still has a negative value because you are subtracting it. Because you are subtracting this negative 2, it actually has a value of a positive, okay, because that is the effect that it has. Same with the 13 here. So think of the negatives as belonging to the number immediately after it. Don't just think of this as negative 5, subtract 3, okay? Because in reality, it could be negative 5 plus negative 3 or negative 5 take positive 3. So moving forward in future, it will really, really help if you think of this negative here as belonging to the number immediately after it, in case here of the 6, the 5, the 3, the negative 2, and the negative 8, moving from left to right. These are your shortcuts, okay? So plus a minus and minus a plus is the same as just saying minus. And when we subtract, we go to the negative end of the axis, which makes sense. When we add, we go on the positive end. So plus plus and minus minus, which we've discussed cancels out, is the same as just adding. And that's obviously at our positive end of the number line. So we move to the positive end of the number line if the signs are the same, and we move to the other end if the signs are different. I know I've repeated myself a lot, but this is really, really important and will just become implicit knowledge moving forward. This is one of those things you'll cover again at year 8 and then never again. And it becomes just assumed knowledge. So please make note of those few things. Having these on the end of the number line I find really, really helps when you're first learning this, but of course find your own memory techniques and stick with them. As always, if you have any questions, get in touch and I will reply as soon as I can, but otherwise good luck with the work, guys.